Support for this episode was provided by Waterlox. Waterlox lets wood be beautiful.